And today also she will join us with this project together. Hi, Dania.
Hello, Muhammad. Thank you
Hello.
for having me again.
You to
It's my
be with us.
pleasure.
As you said, when you are watching anything related to Syria, when I watched, I got emotional, which is normal because we are missing, since we are far off away out of Syria, we are missing many things. We are missing our memories and missing our friends or whatever, or our childhoods, whatever. As they mentioned, first of all, I would like to thank my dear friends that they prepared a great film by
Syria is one of the oldest civilizations on Earth. 12,000 years ago, farming started in the region for the first time, and with more food, the population increased and the first city.
First of all, I was so glad to ask me to share with you these ideas and projects. Since you told me that we made me and my architect friends made a group of 6 architects. We are 3 girls and 2 guys and 3 guys. Then we plan how to start. We divided our work between us. So we went to the old city, and then after all this, we shoot videos, and I edited all of this, and I hope you will enjoy it.
I'm Dania Shalhawi, a Syrian architect. You would know today why Aleppo was chosen to be on the list of UNESCO World Heritage.
I'm Hussein Anis, I'm an architect. I'm talking to you from a place called Part1, one of the famous heritage places in the old city.
My name is Al Abadin. I'm an architect student at Aleppo University. And my part will be about hands and trade, as Aleppo was along the road to Silk Road.
I'm an architecture student from Aleppo University. I'm talking to you from a place called Dublin, one of the famous heritage places in the old city of Aleppo.
I am Saria Kayin. I'm architecture student at University of Aleppo, senior year. And from here I will tell the story and help the people of Aleppo to see their city in whole again.
My name is Bishir and I'm architect. And now I will let you know how the people in Aleppo, the owner of the shops, are working in parallel with city council and the local authorities in the construction process.
Aleppo became a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1986. The criteria for registration as a World Heritage Site: the ancient Aleppo Citadel. Up from the citadel, you can see the markets, mosques, and religious schools in the entire walled old city. Is evidence of Arab defense power from the 12th to the 14th century, in addition to the remains of civilization dating back to the 10th century BC.
Aleppo is a prominent example of the Ayyubid 12th century city, with military fortification constructed as a point of contact after Salah ad-Din's victory over the Franks. Since the registration, the layout of the old city with regard to the citadel dominating the urban fabric has remained essentially unchanged. Efforts to preserve the ancient city have largely preserved the feature of exceptional global value.
Aleppo is distinctively a commercial city. The strategic location of the city on the Silk Road attracted many residents of all races and beliefs to live in and benefits from its location. Between China and Mesopotamia from the east, Europe from the west, and Egypt in the south.
We can see number one, defenses buildings like the citadel of Aleppo, which is located almost the center of Aleppo, and of course the wall and the main gates of Aleppo. There is a part, of course, related about the commercial buildings and about Silk Road. Of course, this point is so important, Muhammad, because as they mentioned and as you know, the location of Aleppo city is a so strategic location, and it's took. Of course, we are talking about the network of trade roads, and the location of Aleppo city. It was so strategic. As they mentioned in the film about Al-Medina, which is the commercial center, which the heart or the life is in the center of the Aleppo city. They mentioned about the covered bazaar or souk, which is Aleppo, as you know, has a largest souk, it's 13 kilometers at the length as a covered souk in the world. They mentioned about, if we are speaking about the commercial buildings, as you know, there is a different type of commercial buildings like Khan or Caesarea or souk. The Khans also, of course, still in Aleppo, a lot of Khans, by the way, some of them built during Mamluki period and some of them built during Ottoman.
Can we compare Khan with a warehouse, but with a social life? So can we say that the Khan is a warehouse, but with a social life, because people in this Khan friends and they have a warehouse but shops. Yeah.
Of course, we can say like that. That the Khans, it was not only just for the goods or sales. The people they can keep coming together, and even the merchants coming from different cities. By the way, as I mentioned when we mentioned about the Silk Road, that the merchants when they came to Aleppo and make a discussions or the social or connections. So there is a social connections and even in the food culture, by the way. Why, for example, I don't want to change the subject, but it's connected to each other's, by the way,
yes.
Muhammad. If we are talking about the architecture, we have to mention about the music, about the food. So all these activities related to each other's. But this richness, again, I will say, of course, because the location of the Aleppo and the connection between different countries, different civilizations, different cultures, by the way. So it was the place protected or carried all civilizations.
Actually, maybe our fathers and grandfathers lived there, and we don't. But although we don't live there, we feel like it's a beautiful place, and we are related in there. So we enjoy our time there and spend a lot of time.
The bulk of the marine section until today date back to the period of King Zahir Ghazi, a son of Salah ad-Din. He has ordered to dig that trench to a depth 22 meters. He built the impressive bridge, the castle slopes of soft impregnable stones, the large tower, and the amazing gate designed to prevent the arrival of any enemy that could approach the castle.
As a city with an ancient architectural style characterized by roofed markets, khans, public baths and schools, in addition to mosques and churches, the city is an archaeological treasure that needs constant care and maintenance. The city was clearly replanned after the end of the World War II.
Reconstruction requirements. In response to the various reconstruction challenges, efforts have been combined between local authorities, local communities, and city council and international organizations such as UNESCO, the Aga Khan, and the UNDP are working on the reconstruction.
So let's start with Mahmoud. What you think?
Yeah, actually, let me start to congratulate my friends. They did a great job, really, with a short time. So, I remember when I was living in old city of Aleppo, by the way, I can see from the roof the Aleppo city. It gives us even gives us like a message, a power, the shape of and the location of the citadel itself.
And the idea of the doors of the old city, it's amazing in that the gate and the iron doors and
yes.
How to enter to the city, and which is also a different element. And also there's a nice. I think Dania make shoots from the wall of Antakya. So over the Antakya's door, there's a wall, defense wall. So it's facing the north of Aleppo. So the doors, I would like to share this. The old city, the citadel, is located in the old wall of the city. And there's the old doors. I think Bab el-Jinan and Bab al-Takia.
Bab el-Jinan and Bab al-Takia, yes.
Yes, and Bab al-Nasreen. And then later, when there's development of the city being and old times, so we had another walls. I think the other walls go to the south.
Yes.
So at that means the citadel be in the middle of.
Yes. Originally, it was not in the middle. You are right.
Yes, in the side. So then when that happens, so more doors located, and
right.
For example, Bab al-Nayrab and Bab al-Maqam.
Yes.
So I'm originally from Bab al-Maqam. My grandfather from Bab al-Maqam.
Really? Perfect.
So let's move to the main idea of reconstruction. So Bishir talk about the collaboration between international organization and also local authorities, the council, local communities. So we'd like to listen from you, and then we'll answer audience questions.
Yeah, this point also so important, Muhammad. The question, okay, we had a war and ended end of 2016, but from where we have to start and how we can start, and who's going to support us? Because as you know, this kind of projects needs a financial support and needs a knowledge. It's to, for example, they mentioned, of course, there is the local authority, of course, is so important, and some international organizations like Aga Khan. Let me mention quickly about Aga Khan program. Before the war, they worked, they had a great projects, by the way, in Aleppo, in Qanasreen, and in Citadel, around the Citadel, as you know.
Yeah.
And now, last year when I went to Aleppo, as you know, the souk or covered bazaar was in so bad shape, but we saw Saqatiyya Souq al-Saqatiyya, how Aga Khan, they worked properly, and they give, again, we can say, when we are talking about the spirit of a place, so at least you can, it can give us a hope that it can, Aleppo city and the souks, it can return. And now you put a photo. Oh my God, this photo, my friend, oh my God, this photo, I took it in 2009. I so lucky on that time that I go through the minaret, which, as you know, demolished totally, the Umayyad mosque minaret, unfortunately. And of course, I believe that they will rebuild and renew Aleppo as it was. I believe on that. But this photo, yes, thank you that you put it, Muhammad. I took this picture from the minaret in 2009. Of course, now I don't have a chance to take this photo again as well. But here in this photo, you
will do soon.
Inshallah. Inshallah. You can see the richness of the bazaar, by the way. That's why I took it. When I mentioned in the beginning about the citadel can give us a power, by the way. Sometimes when you are feeling, sorry for that. Sometimes when you are missing or you are feeling weak, by the way, you need like a father or mother or sometimes to give you a power. No, continue, go ahead. Our citadel as well, it can give you this message. We can continue. We can rebuild Aleppo as it was. Yeah, sorry for that.
Yes, your feelings about this photo is very valuable. I hold myself also, and I have a story about the minarets. So this story, maybe I will do it in good way and tell it maybe later in other events. So I won't tell this story, because I was in Aleppo when it was destroyed. So stay tuned for this story, maybe presented in good way. But now I would like to surprise you, Mahmoud, and surprise our audience.
Oh my God. Salah
Haj Ismail.
Oh my God. It's a beautiful surprise.
Yes, Salah, could you unmute? Yes, Salah Haj Ismail joining from Madrid. And he will
actually, I'm driving back, so I need to pull off aside, because otherwise I will have a fine. Just a moment. I removed the mask. Nice to see you all. And I was watching you yesterday and today. Everything is firing. Great to have you, Mahmoud, a dear colleague, professional and expert of Aleppo, with the full enthusiasm. All those who also participated from Aleppo and what they have shared, videos, stories during this London Festival of Architecture. Thanks to Muhammad Achour and the Places of ARcture to open this opportunity. How are you, Mahmoud? Long time we haven't met. Work with Mahmoud in Aleppo University in the same topic, exactly. The rehabilitation of Aleppo.
This honor, same for me, Salah. I mentioned yesterday. It was, I'm so lucky. I worked 2 years in Aleppo University. It was unfortunately short time, but I met a very lovely friends, lovely professors, whatever. I have a perfect memories. One of them, of course, my friend Salah, my brother Salah.
Thank you.
Salah Haj Ismail, just he is in the right place. He's supervising a master program in Ankara, University University in Ankara. So he's sharing with us the passion for that and the hope that the construction is coming, and we can start from now to work on the construction.
Thank you, Mahmoud. I just wanted to tell something. Today, we show actions by people who loved and loves Aleppo. I used to quote some poetry, some stories. You know that Aleppo is mentioned even in Shakespeare's plays, in Othello, Macbeth. But I always like to quote something from Abu Firas al-Hamadani, the poet of Aleppo. who says that سيذكرني قومي إذا جد جدهم وفي الليلة الظلماء يفتقد البدر. He says that my people will remember me when the things become serious, because on the dark nights the people remember the light of the moon. He was talking about himself as a knight and as a poet, but I think he exactly talking about Aleppo nowadays. Nowadays, Aleppo is this night, which will be the vehicle for the reconstruction and rehabilitation.
For viewing this tour, and a nice tour from the architects, I would like to say that it was very nice that to know that there is interest of international organization in protecting the World Heritage. So Aleppo is on the World Heritage list in the world. So it's a duty or the rule for the world to protect this World Heritage, and not just Syrian, not just people, Aleppian people. So happy to see Aga Khan and UNESCO and UNDP to collaborate with the local communities and local authorities and state council. And the best things to know from Muhammad Achour, who told me that also, that as you said, that the trader or the merchant or the shop owner, they went to ask and they're going to ask how we can start. So, you know, as walking in on all the heritage place, you can't just do by yourself. You need to make it as same. So they saying that, give us the tools and we can do it by ourselves.
Smell or the soup, for example. This is so romantic, I know, but the soup, and the soup, when I'm talking about the soup, there is famous families working on this, for example, in Aleppo. Same thing for the gold or whatever. So the people, or the as I mentioned, the merchants, they prefer to go back to the source, to the center, to rebuild and work on to rebuild his shop. So I saw some shops opened, which is of course they have to. But of course we have to mention about the knowledge how to rebuild, because I noticed, by the way, this point also so important. Okay, we can rebuild, but we have to take care about of course, the teamwork, and we have to work to rebuild the building as it was. Sometimes some restoration buildings, as you know, Muhammad, give a damage. Sometimes say, no, leave it as it is, don't restore it, because some unfortunately wrong examples. And we saw it, by the way, in Aleppo, by the way, in some small examples. I'm not going speaking in generally.
Yeah, you are leading me to the idea, it's my point of view, that how to preserve the old and the connection and the soul of this building.
Yes.
So from that point, and I said that for the interview with Riba, that I am, and we are an architect. Before we were architects, we are a resident or people from Aleppo. So we have this connection, and so we know our heritage and places.
Yes.
But then when we got a certificate in architecture, so we have an extra rule to do this. So the restoration and on the reconstruction will be on the architect or the heritage experts, and if the international organization, they to be collaboration. To work on this, because they know every stone, they know everything, and so it will be restored again.
For example, the training, by the way, it's very important point. During previous years, what I noticed, and I was following some training courses done by international organizations, like by UNESCO, by ICOMOS, and in a local authority, by the way. This, of course, so important, by the way.
Could we credit also the Syrian syndicate?
Of course, yes, Syrian engineers, of course. Last summer, they made a great workshop, and I was lucky. I attend as a guest 5 or 6 days in Aleppo Engineering Syndicate. They are working hardly, everybody.
So it's an invitation for all people to collaborate, to connect, either by individuals or by places of ARcture, to support with resources, training, upgrading skills online webinar in the aim of protecting and preserving the world heritage of Aleppo. We'll move to Mahmoud. He kindly will share with us a documentary project. Currently working on the documentary project. It's called Aleppo Among the Past, Present, and the Future. This project started in 2004 when he collected obtainable engineering scheme of Aleppo historical building and redesigned them in collaboration with a group of voluntary students. Could we invite this architect to your project?
This project, of course, when I left Syria end of 2012, and then when I started working in Yilidiz Technical University, I start to think, Muhammad, to do something for my city, Aleppo. And always the question, as I mentioned, asking what's happened to Aleppo, how many buildings destroyed or whatever. So I start with volunteer students. By the way, this project, the number of students and friends that they attend to this project, by the way, 31 friend, 31. This is the group, 14. We start by small group, by the way. We start with a small group. My students, by the way, all of them Turkish. We worked first stage, it was on the traditional houses. And after that, of course, we go through different buildings and we create different groups, by the way. Here you can see from the pictures and the drawings, we worked on this project. Many volunteer students attend. I would like to thank them, all of them. Of course, they had a great job. To collect 50 buildings. It was a huge within all done by our friends, Khan Al-Harir or Silk Khan. Also, some documentation, by the way, we worked as my brother, friend Salah mentioned in Aleppo city. We worked and we mentioned some of projects, some of them, part of them, they worked. We work with the students in Aleppo University, Faculty of Architecture, and we continue with Yilidiz Technical University. This charge, of course, Aleppo, as you know, in Aleppo, not all Muslims. There is a Christian and different parts, and our connection, of course, all of us, we are living as brothers. And in the church, there is many important church in Aleppo. One of them, Al-Shaybani. And here, this is before a war, it was a very important center, by the way. Many functions we attend here, for example, exhibitions or concert or whatever. And now this is the shape of Al-Shaybani church, unfortunately. Last thing what I mentioned, I want to mention that it give us a hope, of course. This project have been shortlisted for the second stage of ICOMOS Sharjah Award for a good practice 2020. So it was a great news for us. I'm still, they did not select yet, but the final, they did not take the decision for who's going to get the ICOMOS Sharjah Award for this year. But to be in the shortlist with this project, with this small...
and whenever we have the support, or they have we be able to start this project or to share or to collaborate to do, so it will be ready. Not
Inshallah, yes,
not waiting after
No, of course we have to make it ready. Yes, sure.
Materials on our time to do these activities, and we are looking to do more and more and to connect all architects and artists in the aim of engaging people with architecture. At the moment, if would you like to support our ideas, just send us an email address. Send us an email, and we'll tell you more about our ideas, and hope we connect. So this is the email: info places for ARcture or me, Muhammad Achour, and very soon maybe we'll make a form for people who would like to collaborate and support our ideas. At the moment, most of our volunteers, the architects you saw in these events, but also we have volunteers in Ireland, and it's open for all people around the world to share our dreams.
After watching this video, I just want to say, yes, it was horrible, and yes, we suffered, but we have our hopes and dreams just to achieve them. So for all the people out there who are suffering from the same obstacles, from the same war, I want to say for them, hang in there and use your passion, use your dreams, just to hold on to it, to go through the war and obstacles, just to achieve your goals and dreams. Don't stop there. Be strong, be powerful, because life will go on as you live.
We are outside Syria, we are studying far away, but we all have that imaginary view of how Syria could be after the war in the next years, coming years. We will work so hard. We will work so hard as the students, as the professionals, as new generations, and one day Syria will be rebuilt greatly.